Hello. My name is Danielle St. John. I'm just waiting for, there it is, okay. Just connected with Facebook. Hello. Happy Father's Day, if you do that sort of thing. And I just wanted to give a quick update. I've been able to digest this OIG report a little bit, and I wanted to give some thoughts on just some final thoughts on what I've read so far. I think it's pretty clear that if it weren't for the DOJ and FBI interference, Bernie Sanders would have been the nominee. And I think that's something that we've all, especially people in the Bernie Sanders kind of community, have known for a really long time is, that the DNC cheated, Bernie would have won. I don't know about you guys, but I put a lot of hope back in the election that the FBI would do the right thing. And it turns out, now that these reports are coming out, that they, not only did they have the information, but they sat on it for at least a month before it came out. And it had to come out through, it came out through leakers, but what the FBI did, basically, instead of, have shock and awe that the FBI, this organization that's supposed to be completely unbiased, sat on this information that could have actually changed the course of a presidential election. But what the FBI did with it was basically punish, the whistle, or they were more concerned about stopping the leaks than they were about stopping crimes. And that should be disturbing to, I think, everybody. So that's one other thing, besides, of course, you guys know about the crimes that they covered up. One of them that we found out is, child sex crimes. Now, they're not going to let us know what that is, I'm sure, but it's more than just enough crimes to stop her from being a presidential nominee. These are crimes that should have put her in jail. She shouldn't have been around anybody. These are just really, really awful crimes. And the fact that we're still, that she's still a free woman, and the FBI is just kind of like, sorry about that. Maybe we'll try to fix that next time, is really, really disturbing. So I guess the good news is that there are some good actors in the FBI. Obviously, if there's people leaking information, then there are still people who got into this profession for the right reasons. And I'm hoping that there's more good than bad. But one thing I want to show you guys is an interview with Trey Gowdy. I really like him. He's a Republican, but I really like him a lot. And he did an interview on Fox, and they were asking about his his opinion basically on the OIG report, and this is what he says.
Committee, and Bob Goodlatte chairs the House Judiciary Committee. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Chairman Gowdy, first to you, just a broad overview. What strikes you about this report? What's hit you when you look at the 568 pages?
Just what a dark day it is for the FBI and the DOJ, two institutions our country desperately needs. We desperately have to be able to have confidence in them. And this level of bias and animus, not only did he want to stop the Trump campaign, he wanted to stop the Trump presidency. This is an FBI. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was on Hillary Clinton's investigation and arguably the lead Russia investigator, not only wanted to stop his campaign, but once he won, got on the Mueller probe because he wanted to impeach him. That is a level of animus and bias that everyone should reject. And Chris Wray, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Chris, there are consequences. The consequences are that your fellow citizens question whether or not they can have confidence in the world's premier law enforcement agency, and that's coming from somebody who's defended him a lot throughout his career. This was a bitterly disappointing report.
Chairman Goodlatte.
Well, first of all, this report shows that there was special treatment given to Hillary Clinton in the investigation of her case. I'm going
to stop it right there. But I mean, that, I think Trey Gowdy kind of said it all right there. Is that, I mean, how does the FBI recover from this? How does the DOJ recover from this? Honestly, I think the American people have really lost a lot of faith in these organizations. I think a lot of people already didn't trust them, and now to see the level of influence that they are achieving, you know, in our lives, in our choices, right? And as far as who's going to be our president, it should be really, really concerning for everybody. And I think that these organizations are going to have to change. And you know, just that, you know, Ray coming out and saying that, oops, sorry, you know, we kind of made a mistake. Maybe we'll change some things in the way that we train. This is absolutely unacceptable. Like there's some major overhauls that are going to need to happen before I think any American has faith in the FBI ever again. So you know, there's something that's been really kind of left out, I think, of the left leaning media sites, and that is these text messages that are coming out, right? And Trey Gowdy kind of touched on it a little bit here, that there is this huge level of bias coming out using actually government, you know, technology, right? Their cell phones these are government issued cell phones, so they are, you know, every part of this, you know, takedown basically of Donald Trump was backed in some way by the FBI. And so that's even more scary, I think, than influencing the elections, is that you know, now that there is this consequence that the right person didn't get in office to help them continue the way that they've been going, now, you know, now all of a sudden they have the power and the authority to basically set up a president. This is, you know, it's easy to get on the, you know, we hate Trump bandwagon, but what happens when it's not Trump? You know, what happens when they take down somebody that actually does care about the people? Because they, you know, it's very clear that they will go as far as they can get away with in, you know, accomplishing, in keeping power. Like this is what's going on, is that when I say Trump is an establishment, I'm saying that he has not been part of this game for a very long time. Like, you know, like I say, this is like our war machine. It doesn't matter who is president, right? You know, things just keep going on their own. This is what we're talking about when we say deep state. This is what we're talking about when we say bias. The people that were basically entrusted with making sure that we have, you know, fair elections, right? Like this is a huge task that Mueller had, you know, and he really screwed it up. He used it as a chance basically to grab power. And I don't think it's going to end well for them. I think that we really need to keep putting pressure on basically getting the right people in front of the, you know, the oversight committees. You know, this Peter Strzok, he absolutely needs to get in front of the oversight committee, because he was very much a key player in the Mueller investigation, and it looks like his bias was blinding him. So a little bit later on in that clip, they show Trey Gowdy saying, well, in hindsight, now that I know that there's that much bias, I never would have done, you know, I never would have put this person, Peter Strzok, on this case. But that's really not what the OIG report says, does it? The OIG report says, oh, well, there is no bias, right? But the director says that there are still a whole lot of unanswered questions. I think we still have a whole lot more reports to come out. But that's basically the gist of this that I got. I think we should take away from this is that between the first and the second OIG report, look at it like it's different chapters of a book versus different books, because it really does paint a timeline. It paints a really good picture of, you know, basically the last couple years, and I don't think they're going to be able to weasel their way out of this for very much longer. I think they, you know, they've been painted into this corner now where I think more is coming out. There is definitely more to come, and I think each one of these reports that come out is just another nail in their coffin. And I think that even as of now with the second report, we have enough that the American public has no faith in basically our judicial system at the highest level, our police departments at the highest level. This is really kind of catastrophic for I think the establishment and the way that they and I think it's actually going to change the way that things are done. And I don't know. I don't think we can blame really Donald Trump for that. But I don't know. I think that all of this effort that is now coming out, all of this effort to hide text messages, it's been so hard to even get the information that they've gotten so far. I think that there's just not very many more moves that these people have to make. So I think we should just keep vigilant, keep on it, keep sharing, make sure that everybody realizes that this is not a nothing burger, and when we see these reports come out and line them up, we're really going to start to see a pretty awful picture being painted. So that's really all I have. Wow, I've got a lot of people going on. Hi guys. I'm still getting used to reading the comments while I'm doing my live streams, by the way, so I'm trying to get better at this. So it's, I prepare a little bit. These are live for a reason. I try to throw out my ideas kind of as they come. But this, looking at it, at what's going on in the comment section is kind of new for me. So I'm trying to get better at it. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. You know what? I'll tell you a little bit. I'm going to try to start doing some interviews. I really liked my interview with Don Ford. So I've reached out to a couple candidates that were in my race, Jordan Mills and Josh Hancock. Jordan Mills was the Peace and Freedom candidate, and Josh Hancock was the Libertarian candidate. So I'm going to have them on as guests, and we're just going to kind of hash out civilly and basically just give these people a little bit of a platform, because they do have some beautiful ideas, and then also civilly talk about our disagreements, because I know there's going to be a few disagreements with the Libertarian Party, or if I have a Democrat on, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a disagreement. But I think that's good for us to kind of see differences in opinions and see what we can learn from each other, instead of where we can draw lines, where we can divide ourselves.
Just a question, if you want it.
Yeah, what?
Donald asked, do you think Bernie should run Dem if they adopt his platform?
I think Bernie's going to run Dem anyway. I don't know. I think that it's a win-win. I think Bernie's going to win if he runs as a Dem. I think the new rule changes kind of stop him from doing this epic move that I hoped he would have done, which is what he does in his Senate runs, where he seeks the Democratic nomination for Senate and then rejects it, so he can run unopposed. And the new rules that the DNC just passed are, specifically make it so that he can't do that. So what the people who say that these rule changes are for Bernie Sanders, they're kind of right in that, right? So they're going to let Bernie run, but I don't think they're going to let him engage the independents the way that he could if he just said, sorry, Dems, you can keep your nomination and, run unopposed against Donald Trump. So I don't know. I think he'll win either way, but I think he would make much more of a splash if he was able to reject the nomination. But oh well. So I didn't see that comment go by. So
yeah, that was you. It was just scroll past it.
Okay. Vermont Democratic Party made him a lifelong Democrat, right? Which is kind of funny why they actually, it's funny that he rejects the nomination each time. But their state, they don't really require, they've got very, very lenient laws as far as party affiliation goes in Vermont. So he can kind of do that stuff. He can kind of do that stuff in Vermont, but I don't think that they're going to let him do it on a national stage. But, you know, I think Don Ford brought up a good point. Even the fact that we are pretty sure that Bernie Sanders is going to get this nomination kind of shows how far we've come in just a few years. So, you know, if you want to be optimistic about the parties, then I guess that's one area. And like I said, I'm not saying, I know we're going to need to use government, right? I know we're going to need to get the right people in these seats. You know, but I don't know if we can make the kind of change that we need now, fighting the system as hard as they make us fight, as much energy as they make us put into this system. I don't know if we can make it. I know that we can't make the kind of changes that we need solely going through this system. I think that we really, really need to start taking back our food ourselves. I think there's a lot of things that we just need to treat ourselves better, and I don't see that happening in the government anytime soon, passing laws that are going to help the people versus, you know, help the corporations. So, but again, please keep running, please keep trying. We have to keep trying to get the right people into these seats, and I think that if we can attack this problem, the establishment, from every angle, then that's how we win. So
Laura asked, hope you plan to run again. Keep going. Thoughts?
Yeah, I do plan on running again. I don't know if I'm going to run for Congress again. I'm actually thinking, I haven't really told anybody this on social media yet, but I'm actually possibly thinking about doing something a little bit bigger. I have a national presence, and I don't think that it translated well enough into you know, a District 49 race. So I'm thinking about doing something bigger, maybe Senate, maybe Secretary of State, maybe governor, you know, one of those. I think I might actually do a little bit better, you know, and again, when I ran last time, it's because I had support, but I actually didn't really consider it fully until I knew that Darrell Issa was dropping out. So there was, you know, there were people who were preparing for these runs much, you know, longer before I did. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe a little bit bigger than Congress next time.
Can't run for Secretary of State, though.
Why?
That's an appointment, isn't it?
No, Secretary. No, not Secretary of, like, for California.
Oh, okay.
Secretary for California.
I was thinking you wanted Hillary's job.
Oh, no.
You want to be like Hillary.
No.
She persisted. You're persisting, are you not?
Oh, God, no. And I'm not wearing pantsuits either. I don't care. I'm not going to do it.
Hashtag she persists.
Yeah, we're going to steal it. We're going to co-opt all of the Hillary lines. But so that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Hashtag I'm with her.
He's hashtagging in real time. So I don't know, but we've got plenty of time to think about that. Now, here's something that's kind of interesting: is that we've got on the ballot coming up in November in California to split the state into 3, and I know that that's going to be a very, very heavily debated topic, but I don't know. I call dibs on one of the SoCal Senate seats. If we do go that way, I don't know what I have to do at this point. I think dibs is probably a good way to claim a position that doesn't exist yet. I don't know. We'll see. But that would be kind of interesting, because then there would be Senate seats available like right away. I think we've got a few years before we could do anything. If the state doesn't split. Can I run for a city council? I could run for city council. I probably do pretty well on a city council. I know the mayor, so but I don't know. I think that's a little bit too. I think that might be a little bit too small. We'll see. Maybe. I really do think that I want to try to use my social media presence a little bit more. And since I have a national social media presence, I think, you know, even if it was a statewide California seat, then I would get much more traction. So I would be Northern. Yeah. Are you sure you would be Northern California, John? Because I think I saw Fresno on the Southern California map. I don't know. Let's look it up. I'll pull up the map. Oops. What is it called? 3 states. Map. This one, here we go. So isn't that like, I think Fresno's like right up here, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, we could definitely be co-senators. Let's do it. Okay. Let's see, hold on, I'll show you guys. Yeah, so oh, there we go. I don't know if it showed last time, but here we go. So right, I think, isn't Fresno like right there? I think it might be. So anyway, we can definitely talk about why people think that it seems like the progressives are like, no, we don't want it in 3 states. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can fill me in on why it would be so bad. But California right now, as it is, just is horrible. Like, we can't get anything done. So something's got to change. I don't know. So that's okay. Very good. I think that's probably a good. Hold on, John. I'm south of Fresno, so that would make sense. Great. All right. Yes. Yeah, so definitely co-senators. Let's. I'll have your people talk to my people. But, okay. Well, I will leave it there. Happy Sunday, and we will talk soon.